All right, so on to the third shelf. So first off, we're going to start off with here is 28 Days Later. One of the first DVDs I got. It wasn't the first. I believe Die Another Day was, but it was one of the first like bulk when I started really getting into collecting DVDs at one point. Really enjoyed this film. Funny thing is that people are wondering. A lot of people wonder why you would buy that on Blu-ray. If you're not familiar, this film was actually done with just regular film, and because of that, it looks SD or standard def. That's because it is. Except for the very end, they reshot something with regular film. Really great film though. I highly recommend, and actually I would actually recommend this sequel as well. 28 weeks later, and I hear they're supposed to do it 28 months later. Hopefully that ends up happening. Then we have Two Guns, and by the way, I'm kind of going out of order here. We have Two Guns. I haven't actually watched this yet. Still, still actually sealed up. I got this during a big Best Buy sale, pre-order sale. Uh, I hear good things about it. Definitely want to check that out though very shortly. We have 21 Jump Street and then finally 22 Jump Street. Both of these are great, but I gotta say, like this, I really liked 21 Jump Street, and I thought, like, usually when there's a sequel, you kind of get a little iffy. The sequel is just as good, if not better, than the original, so highly recommend. It has a great gag at the end, so stay for the credits. There's a whole uh, gag with regards to like sequels and stuff. Really, really funny, and I would highly recommend waiting for that. 30 Days of Night. Funny enough, I'm not a huge vampire fan, but I really enjoyed this film. We actually, Buyaka and I, aka Tyson, uh, rented this one night. We watched it. He was really into it. I wasn't. I didn't really care. I just watched because it was a movie, and I really enjoyed it so much so that I actually ended up buying that one. I ended up buying the sequel, which is absolutely completely trash. But I am a collector in a lot of ways, and I like having sequels, even if they are trash. We have 30 minutes or less. Never actually watched that, unfortunately. Heard it's actually a pretty decent comedy. We have 300. I want to get 300, the sequel for that one, but I haven't got it yet. And finally, we got a steelbook here. This is 21: A Space Odyssey. Great, albeit weird film. Not everyone's cup of tea, but it's a great Stanley Kubrick classic that you should at least give it a chance, try it, and see how you like it. Just go into it knowing that it is a bit strange. Now we have 2012, decent film, really great special effects, but honestly, after the big initial, you know, disaster, it kind of just like all of these films kind of lose their luster a little bit. Then we have a Charlie Brown Christmas. It also has a where is it here? It's Christmas time again, Charlie Brown. And it also has the kind of like a sequel to that one. Unfortunately, it's only in standard def. Then we have a Christmas Carol. This is the 1933. I want to say 1938 classic. I want to get the Alistair Sim one as well. I really like a lot of these ones. We also have this one. This is George C. Scott, The Christmas Carol. Then we have the Jim Carrey animated Christmas Carol. So it's quite a few Christmas Blu-rays. Perfect time, being that it is actually Christmas now. Then we have Ralphie and A Christmas Story. A Million Ways to Die in the West. A Nightmare on Elm Street. This is the entire collection, minus well, this one. This is the remake, and Freddy vs. Jason, which was actually released as part of the entire Friday the 13th collection, which unfortunately I do not have. The only one I have, which is not a great film, but I still have it, is Friday the 13th, The Killer Cut. This is the remake, not the original. Uh, then we also have Liam Neeson in A Walk Among the Tombstones. I really enjoyed this one. It wasn't his typical action film, which is what I thought it would be. but I really enjoyed that one. I actually like him as an actor. He's a pretty good actor. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter. Again, not a huge vampire fan, but I thought this one was a pretty good action romp. Then we have Ace Ventura and Ace Ventura When Nature Calls. Really enjoyed this one. This one, for me, does not hold up. It's really silly. As a kid, I loved it, but trying to watch it again as an adult, it really lost my interest quickly. We have Airplane. I want to get Airplane 2. I think it's on Blu-ray now. I have to check that. Really funny movie with Leslie Nielsen. Then we have Age of Heroes. Unfortunately, it's a World War II movie, and I unfortunately haven't watched it. I'm a really big fan of World War II movies. After Earth, another one I haven't watched. I got that really cheap. Uh, I will watch it at some point, although I heard bad things about it. We have 1010 3D. I just recently got that. Haven't watched it on Blu-ray yet, but I will get to that probably very soon. I enjoy that film quite a bit. Another one I really love, a childhood favorite of mine, Adventures in Babysitting. Really, really funny film. And as someone who grew up in the 80s and 90s, really, really takes you back. Adventureland, and unfortunately another one I haven't watched. As you'll probably realize, there's a lot of them I haven't watched. Although to be fair, I've actually started to go through my backlog and start watching a lot of these. Then we have Alice in Wonderland. Then we kind of start with the Alien as this thing falls down. We have Prometheus. Get back up there. Prometheus. There's going to be a sequel to that, which they called Alien something. I can't remember exactly. And then there's the Alien Anthology. To a lot of people's chagrin, I also have AVP, Alien vs. Predator, and Alien vs. Predator Requiem with the Alien films. Now, as you probably realize by now, since I already did Friday the 13th, and now with AVP, is that if a film has a tie-in at some point, I usually try to keep the tie-ins together as well. So, for instance, again, I did Friday the 13th, I did AVP, and then we also have the Predator films here. This is the Ultimate Hunter edition. Unfortunately, it's a really bad transfer. I want to get the first release, which is very grainy, but it's the way it was intended. Then we have Predator 2, not a great transfer, but it's a lot better than that one. And then finally we have Predators, a great, great follow-up film. I heard they're making another one. Hopefully that comes out. Then we have All Is Lost, a great survival kind of film. Robert Redford did a really good job in that one. American Graffiti, George Lucas's one of his first films. Then we have American Hustle, American Psycho, and then we have the Amityville Horror. All great films. And by the way, this has all three editions. I'm sorry, it has the original Amityville 2 and then Amityville 3D, and it's actually in 3D, so you can watch that. Although I haven't seen it, so I can't really tell you how good it is. As far as the 3D, I mean, I've seen the movie. I've seen all of them, actually. During Halloween, I actually watched a lot of these horror movies. Okay, so then we got another steelbook. This is the Anchorman, and I guess we'll do it this way too. Anchorman steelbook. This includes Anchorman 1 and 2, and I guess I can show you real quickly here. It has Anchorman 1 and 2. Really cool. Once I knew they were coming out with a steelbook that had both, I said, I might as well just get the steelbook. So that's what I did. Then we have Arachnophobia. My sister hates this movie because she's not really a fan of spiders. I think it's hilarious, however. Then we have Argo. Actually, watch this. A really good film. Although it's not really true to life, considering it's supposed to be based on a true story. As a Canadian, they cut out a lot of the Canadian help in that film. We have Arthur Christmas. Another great horror film. In my opinion, underrated is As Above, So Below. This is a found footage film, but do not let that put you off. It's actually a really good film. It's based on the catacombs in France, Paris, France, which by themselves are pretty creepy. That make a film about it, it's even creepier. So then we have the original Assault on Precinct 13. I seen the remake as well, and I really liked it. Uh, I think it's available on Blu-ray. I may pick that up at some point. Then we have A-Team, which is obviously based on the TV show. Really, actually, a really good version of that. Then we have Austin Powers Collection, which includes all three films. Would love them to make a fourth one. Then we have Avatar. This is the Ultimate Collector's Edition, not the 3D edition, however. Then we have the Back to the Future trilogy, which includes all three films, obviously. We have Battleship. And then finally, to end the third shelf, we have Beetlejuice. One of my favorites growing up as a kid. Really thought that was a fun film. So anyways, that's it for this one.